for listening to our testimony today. My name is Elisa Lee. I'll start the youth panel representing the youth voice for why we support this bill. I'm 24 years old and I live in Medford. And a little bit about me, I was born in Saipan, which is a small island in the Western Pacific. My parents, both Korean, immigrated to the US after they finished college. And growing up, they never let me forget that I was lucky to live in the United States, to have food to eat, clean water to drink, and a home to sleep in. And they very much stressed to me that it was my responsibility to use the resources that I had to give back to my communities. And growing up in public education, every year I learned about global warming and that it was caused by the burning of fossil fuels. I learned that the homes I came from, both Saipan and South Korea, were being threatened right now by sea level rise, not in many decades. And when I learned that my college, a public research institution, was invested in fossil fuels, I was shocked. My school was giving up their responsibility to prepare young people like me to enter a livable world. And I felt that it was my responsibility to challenge that. So I started a divestment campaign at that school. And since then, over 120 educational institutions have divested and hundreds of campaigns have sprung up. This movement, this vibrant movement of students have said that we as youth have not only the responsibility, but also the power to stop the influence of the fossil fuel industry. There is really fertile ground for this movement everywhere you go. In Massachusetts, Hampshire University became one of the first colleges to divest in 2012. Lesley University committed in 2015. 1 year later, the UMass system became the first major public university system in the country to divest from fossil fuels, and later that year, Boston University announced that they would begin divesting from coal and tar sands. Trillions of dollars are no longer going to be invested in fossil fuels, and it is becoming increasingly recognized by institutions of all political leanings, including the Financial Times and Forbes, that fossil fuels are not viable long-term. And this shift has happened because young people like me recognize that we didn't have to allow fossil fuel companies to continue their influence. The state of Massachusetts has a duty to the public and not to these companies. And there are generations who have been waiting for you to take this step, and entire generations to come that will honor this decision. The right decision is here in front of you, and I can say that I've been working 5 years on divestment. It's my promise to you that I will keep making other youth and people my age and younger see why this path is important, and that I see that as my responsibility. Please live up to yours, starting with voting in favor of this bill. I'm going to pass it to Max now.
Hi, I'm Max Shannon. I live in Amherst, and I'm 15 years old. The air quality in my region has a grade of F. And as you may know, formation of ozone, the main ingredient of smog, is heat dependent. Now, I'm a homeschooler, so I don't care much or know much about grades. But I think F is super not good, right? Two of my sisters suffer from severe asthma. As temperatures rise, what air quality worse than F can they look forward to? What is more fundamental than air? Carbon pollution is a crime against my generation and all future generations. If you use your political power to help divest the state pension fund from fossil fuel, do you demonstrate your love and concern for my generation and generations to come? If you buckle to industry lobbyists or allow continued short-term profit from carbon pollution, which, by the way, every economist is telling us is a bubble that will pop, then you fail us. After you have died, my generation will be the ones either reaching our full potential in a clean energy economy or hurtling from crisis to crisis, coping with natural and human disasters intensified by global warming. To live a lavish life in one generation only to trash it for the next generation, that is injustice. You've been elected to serve office and to serve justice and protect the public at this uniquely dangerous time in human and planetary history. Make it your legacy to side with justice. Favorably read H. 3281, move it forward. Do everything in your power to pass this critical legislation this session. Thank you.
Thanks, Max. Hi, everyone. My name is Varshini Prakash, and I am 24 years old. I have also been working on fossil fuel divestment for a number of years, and am a founding member of Sunrise, which is a youth movement to make climate change an urgent political priority across this country and elect leaders who will stand up for the health and well-being of all people. I'm also and have been a proud Massachusetts resident my whole life. And currently where I live right now in East Boston will probably be underwater within my lifetime if we do nothing to stop climate change. I've also seen climate change-fueled floods wreak havoc on homes and people, leaving thousands displaced and hundreds dead where my family's from in India. And it was just complete sheer luck that my grandparents and my family was not there at that time, but a lot of other people weren't so lucky. And when it isn't flooding there, there's drought and hundreds of farmers have taken their lives because they have no other way to pay their debts. I don't think anybody should have to live in fear of losing their homes and the people that they love, especially when the solutions are right at our fingertips. So these are the lives and the livelihoods that you can change by supporting this bill. And when I was an undergrad at the University of Massachusetts, I, along with other students, ran a campaign to divest the UMass endowment from fossil fuels, which Elisa just pointed to. And we won. After years of garnering public support and advocating on our campus, and as part of a national movement, we were able to get President Marty Meehan to support us and divest our institution from fossil fuels and show that it is possible to do this and that public opinion is on our side. And young people are already leading. Thousands are joining political campaigns, knocking on doors to talk to our neighbors about climate change, and rallying in the streets. And it's a crucial moment for our governments and political leaders to also take up that charge and take significant leadership on climate change. So for me, this is really about who we are and how we will be remembered and our legacy in the face of great, great adversity. And 10 years from now, I am going to look my child in her eyes and know what type of world she's going to grow up in. So it's up to us to make sure that she and the billions of other children have enough water and food and a safe place to grow up free from harm. So we can choose to take that big step forward today in stopping devastation and protecting the lives of all in the Commonwealth, the country, and the world. And that truly is what I believe this bill represents and is one of the first steps towards. So thank you.
Do you written testimony?